wear the shirt that the missus got me from New Orleans that you can't really read, but
Are we recording?
yep. So
That's a great shirt. That's true. That's good stuff. Shout out to your missus, man. It's true.
it is true.
It's true. Yeah.
She sent me a picture of that while she was gone. I'm like, I need that shirt, please. For the love of
Yeah.
God, please.
That is a good shirt. It'd make a little more sense if it was like a crawfish, not a lobster, but it still makes a lot of sense.
Well, they look pretty similar, right?
They do. There's less of that. Yeah, there's less of that sucking when it comes to lobsters, but yes, you still do a bit of that. So
Yeah.
that's a great shirt. I love it. Well, welcome back, man. How are you?
I am good, my man. How are you?
Not too bad. Good week.
Yeah, good week. I'm back to doing stuff that I actually really like.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, you're back in the outdoors, so
Back in the outdoors, back in the substation work.
nice.
It's fun. God, it's a good
And-
crew.
Well, let's say it. And as we were talking during the Easter episode, you are going to be traveling a little again this summer, right?
A little bit. I think some of it will be traveling. I think the most of the traveling, like real big traveling, might end up being October. I'm the honorary guy that knows how to put in pole bases and pour concrete. So we're pouring our own concrete for security stuff this year. So I'm
There
the
is
guy that's gotta
something
do
to
that.
be said for being the guy when it comes to one thing or another, or the gal, as the case may be.
Yep, the trades person.
Yeah, it's not something that someone else couldn't do, but if you're slick at it and they know they trust you and they'll let you do it, there's something to be said there. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the I Shower After Work podcast. John and I are on the east and west sides again. One of these days we'll be back together, buddy.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
your visual happiness. I guess.
Yes, yeah, you won't have to look at our ugly mugs. Not that you have to now. You can still just listen if you want, but we thought it'd be fun to have these video ones for a while, and they'll be sporadic, as we mentioned, going forward. When John and I are in the same location, the Wi-Fi bandwidth to do this video is different.
It is a bit.
Inadequate is the word that keeps coming to my mind.
That's a good word for it, actually.
Yeah, and I've got a pretty good data
Yeah.
line in my house, folks. It's just my house, and it's not going to be enough. So once in a while, it'll just be the audio again. But before we get going here, remember, everybody, check out everything that is I Saw at isawpodcast.com. There you'll find all our socials, the Buy Us a Beer tab if you want to support the show and be named a sponsor of an upcoming episode, and the Be a Guest tab if you'd like to join us for a future recording. You can also reach out with feedback or episode ideas at 507-607-ISAW. That is 507-607-4729. Leave us a text or a message and might even be featured in a future episode. All right, that's the biz, buddy.
Nice. I want to take a minute to shout out our sponsor of this episode, actually. Andy, the mechanic, actually went on and bought us a few beers on the Buy Us a Beer tab. So he is the honorary sponsor of this episode that we're going to talk about here. So Andy, thank you so much for your support. If you want to back up Andy, follow his lead, head on over to the website. You'll find the tab right there and take care of it. It'll walk you through everything.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
pretty
again.
simple. Shout out, Andy. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate you. And very likely a future guest coming up, Andy.
Oh, I hope so. He sounds fun.
Yes, Andy
It
sounds like fun.
Sounds like it'll be a good time.
Yes, we've been talking to Andy. I met so many people at the event that I met you at that I'm not quite sure which person you are. If you're the one I think you are in my head, it's going to be entertaining because I suspect you're going to be able to throw us a lot of grief as just a couple of non-cleaning up electricians. So shout out. We appreciate the beers, buddy. Thank you. My man, it is almost spring again.
Dude, it's trying to be spring.
It's fucking trying. This false spring that I used to hear everybody joke about when I moved to the Midwest. I'm like, oh, what do you mean? It's winter and then it's not. No, it's winter and then it's spring and then it's winter and then it's spring and then it's winter and then it's spring. And I'm about sick of it this year.
Yeah, we've got massive, massive swings. I don't know, since living here, I don't know if I've seen temp swings like this. Like when we're going from 70 degrees one day to 38 the next, it's just like, dude, give me a fucking break.
I barbecued in shorts the day before we got more than a foot of snow.
Yeah.
Just the other, like, what? What? What?
Yeah,
I can't get over how fucking brutal it is this year. Like, I'm getting real tired of it. I know everybody complains about it, but hey, that's one of the great things about being someone who lives in one of these areas where you get all 4 seasons. Part of the joy is, as a community, bitching about it together.
Yes,
I'm here
absolutely.
for it. Yeah, I used to feel bad about complaining. I'm like, no, brings us all together.
Yeah. And we all do it.
And we all do it, right? Yeah. I think I posted this on my personal social media a while back, not on the iSaw one, but if I can find it, I'll repost it. It was an AI version of who was the guy that used to change his sweater and his shoes before his kid show? Break. I can't think of it.
Mr. Rogers?
Mr. Rogers. There's
Yeah.
an AI of Mr. Rogers saying, "Hey, have you heard about the Minnesota Halloween blizzard of 91? Well, if not, just ask any Midwesterner. They'll be happy to fucking tell you about it." I've heard the story so many times since living here. It just when I saw that, I'm like, that is a great use of AI. Like, I love it.
That's funny.
Well, as I said, man, spring is nearly here, so I know you and I are talking about summer plans and this and that. The summer fun is coming up, so regardless of your hobby of choice, though, the costs can add up, buddy. We're motorcycle riders. We're going to talk about a few other things we're both into.
Yeah.
Today, I thought we'd talk about a breakdown of some of the costs of common hobbies in North America, man.
Now we certainly can. Hobbies are important. I've actually had to dial back my hobbies a little bit because of the expense. You have to pick. You can't do them all. You gotta pick. You gotta pick some that you really, really like.
And sometimes some real serious lifelong choices got to be made if you want to commit.
Right.
I've got a real specific one we're going to talk about here today that I've briefly mentioned in previous episodes. So
for sure.
Now, first and foremost, my friend, what do you think? Because hobby is such a wide variety of things you can talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Someone could consider, we're going to get into it here, it could be something as simple as going for a hike.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're mostly going to talk about outdoor stuff, folks, because you could talk about woodworking or reading a book or whatever, making music. We're talking about outdoorsy summertime stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
This one was tough because it's such a variety and so many different interests for everybody who they might actually enjoy. All I could think of was to bring up a list of some of the most common ones and then just bebop around as we go here, right?
Right.
What do you think?
No, that's cool. We've talked about hobbies before with Pete, right?
Right.
Like, that was really good to sit down and talk with Pete about them, because depending on what your description is of hobbies changes what hobbies you get into, right? For me, a hobby is anything that gets you out of your normal routine that you enjoy doing, but everything costs money.
And with the cost of everything now going up, including fuel just to get you to your probable hobby.
Right.
Hiking is a great example. The first two were hiking and biking. So we'll talk about like pedal bike right now. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to go down the e-bike road eventually here. That frustrates me, but we'll get there.
I have a deeper conversation for e-bikes. We'll get to it.
Okay, perfect. I mean, obviously, you can hike anywhere. Hike is just a walk, right? It's probably the least expensive outdoor one.
Yeah, it just depends on where you want to go, right? Because if you want like specific scenery, you have to travel to get there. Right. And you're not right. Just talking gas, you're talking snacks, you're talking, let's break up the things that cost money. Good shoes for hiking.
Right, proper shoes for hiking, right? And I hate to say this, it makes a difference.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
I went to one of the outlet malls in Arizona a number of years back because they had a couple of outdoorsy stores. I bought a pair of Merrells. It makes hiking way better. The traction's better. My feet don't hurt at the end of the day. And my missus wants to go on a hike.
Oh, yeah, she ain't messing around.
It ain't a nature trail, folks. Look up Camelback Mountain in Arizona, and that gives you the idea of the kind of thing she's looking for. Yeah. Ropes to help you scramble over some things. It's a full-on, you better bring water and a snack hike.
And then you're talking about backpacks, right? To carry your shit.
Different sizes, right? Depending on what you want. You got it.
You want to have it waterproof.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to spend money on park passes because
Yeah.
they know a place is beautiful. They're going to charge you 5, 10, $20 a day, sometimes more.
Yep.
And then if you're really into it, annual fees.
Yep.
So what I
Annual
looked up,
fees will usually save you some money.
we have turned the corner on that the last few years. We've realized that an annual fee thing is good, but it brings up my first gripe today. And as much as this will be a fun conversation, folks, I do have some problems, okay? Uh, I buy a park pass, and fortunately, a lot of them now are good for a number of parks within the same area.
They're
It's not
usually
usually just
state,
one. Yeah, sometimes you get a state or it's like a few in an area, whatever, right?
right?
That's a sticker that I have to put on a specific vehicle. What if I want to take the other vehicle? That bugs me.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
I ha
buying another sticker.
we happen to be in the car the day that we stop in to go for this hike, take the dog for a walk. We're camping at that specific spot.
Yep.
Or vice versa. I had the truck because we went camping, and now I can't take the car because the damn sticker's in the truck.
No, you just buy two when you get them.
Right. Well, and then double down on that of getting berated, which I have only one time though, uh, because I put the sticker in the air quotes wrong location on my windshield. You're
Seriously.
telling me I had the guy come out and go, no, 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 passenger side lower. I'm like, I don't want it over there. I want to put it right here with the other ones. No, that's not what we want. I don't. You're so fucking shitty about this that you got to tell me that you don't want to look in the four corners of a windshield to find your park sticker. Come on. Anyway,
Dude, you're driving through a booth that the people are always on the left. Why not put it on the left side of the windshield so they can see it as you drive up?
we've been to enough parks now that I know sometimes it's not the booth. Sometimes it's the pull into the little parking spot, get out, walk inside where they're selling stickers and park maps and t-shirts and cups and whatnot, right?
Oh, that's
They want to look out and see. And that's the thing.
That's
It's
stupid.
place to place, right? So I get it there and somebody says another one like, well, I can't see it. It's way over there. I'm like, when I bought it, the person said, put it on that side because that's where their goddamn hut is or whatever.
right.
Seems like a petty complaint, but come on, just get out and look. Be so
Right.
lazy. Anyway, hiking
Yep.
is a good one, man.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've actually gone on a good hike. I can't honestly remember. I'd take that back. It was when we went to Hawaii, hiking across the volcano. That was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, you told me all
Uh,
about that. You said that was a good time.
Yeah, that was 3 or 4 miles, so pretty small hike, in the terms of hiking.
Right. But for some people, I mean, that's if you take your time, you're enjoying it, you're not in a panic, that can be
Yep.
multiple hours. Enjoy
Yep.
yourself like it.
For
The
sure.
the interesting part of all this for me is depending on what you enjoy, you also might get pulled into the fact that you and your spouse might not really love the same thing.
Right.
So you can get dragged, for lack of a better word, to do things. My first choice would not be to take a big, long, all day hike.
Yeah.
But the missus loves it. You got to keep the peace. And I end up enjoying it at the end almost every single time.
Right.
I think that's a big problem that we'll kind of fall back on as we go here a little bit, that sometimes your hobby ain't your partner's hobby.
Pretty much every one of my hobbies is not my partner's.
Right. And I
Stop that. Hey, stop.
threw
It's
in the
not
word
my
partner to
wife's.
be funny. Yeah,
Not
I
my
threw it in to
wife's.
see if you catch it. You
My
caught it.
wife's
Your wife's,
fucking
yeah, right.
father.
Significant other.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of them won't be a lot of times, right?
Mhm.
So like take you and I, for example, we do share one with our spouse, motorcycles.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about that cost later. But golf, we don't share golf with them.
Nope.
Right. Do you have any other ones that you do regularly share?
Video games.
I am real jealous about that.
Me
Which
and,
reminds me, I've got a gripe to pick. I got a bone to pick with you
me and my
about
wife.
about video games.
Yeah, me and my wife do enjoy playing video games together.
But it's just the one, right?
Yeah, for the most part. And we really don't do that much anymore because we're living together, but that used to be our thing for when we were long distance. Yeah.
Right. Get on. It was Minecraft, right?
Yep.
I downloaded Minecraft just this last week, buddy.
Did you really?
Yep. I was home. I'm like, all right, it's cheap. I'm gonna give it a try. It's hugely, hugely popular. There's got
Still
to be
is.
something. Yeah, there's got to be something that I just don't understand.
Hmm.
Uh, Things just kept killing me.
Yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
I don't get the whole breakdown building. How do you figure out how to make something to stop the zombie or the spider or whatever? Like I know it's a little off topic. I just don't understand. And
I'll walk you through it someday. It'll be
okay,
okay.
I don't know if I care that much. It was more of a download just to see if maybe I give it a fair shake one day that I was off, if I was missing something. I'm gonna fall back on Call of Duty, buddy.
Yeah, I recently got couple of different games that I'm playing. The Last Caretaker, Star Rupture, they're new games out. They're more of a shoot 'em factory type
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, I said I just want to kill Nazis on the beach in Normandy, right? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I hear you.
But yeah, so that's a good point. Like, yeah, so that's a good one that you two share. I mean, my missus and I we're movie addicts. We love watching new movies. Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? So we make an effort to get to the gym together. I wouldn't call it a hobby. I know it is for some people, but it's something we share. But I mean, yeah, sitting down and finding a program that we both love. Thank God we have mostly similar tastes.
Yep.
I was talking to this about this with a couple of dudes that I work with, and they're like, "No, we literally watch almost completely independent movies and shows from one another, except for occasionally. With us, it's 90% of the stuff we're both interested in."
Yep. No, we we share a lot of the same movies, a lot of the same shows. We like them. Um, I don't really like rom-coms. Some of them are actually pretty good. Um, but for the most part, yeah, Ashley really likes those. I will sit down and watch with her every now and then when that really kind of sparks her interest. I'll bite the bullet. I'll I'll
And
drag myself into
sometimes,
that one.
yeah, and in spirit, I mean, I know we're talking about hobbies today, like outdoor stuff, but I mean, in the spirit of that, sometimes you'll find yourself eventually enjoying it. We talked about Bridgerton recently.
Yep.
I hated myself a tiny little bit for getting into it. Like, you know what I mean?
I don't regret it at all.
See, that's a good attitude, buddy. I like it. So bounce from hiking to biking.
Yep.
Okay. Uh, Definitely changes the cost immediately. You can go get a cheap bike, Facebook Marketplace, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Even go into the Walmart or wherever, you can get a fairly nice bicycle and a helmet if that's your thing for not that much money, right?
Right.
Um, Looking it up, the biggest thing I found was something that has happened to me as well in the past. Of they never come with a good seat, so you know that you're buying a seat.
Yeah. No, they never do.
You know, it's like with a lot of things where they give you the basics in certain aspects of something you buy, knowing they sell upgrades as well, even if you don't get it from them. So, like a seat, for example, right?
Oh, story of our lives, right? Look at the bikes that we own.
Yeah,
The motorcycles
the
that we own.
motorcycles is a perfect example, right?
They don't come loaded how we want them. And we got to spend another $4,000,
Oh, for
you know,
sure.
right off
For,
the bat.
for sure. Which, like with any upgrades, folks, uh, if you're not a motorcycle rider, you don't get the money back on
No,
trade and resale that you put into making it comfortable for you. That could be said for a lot of these things, right? Uh,
that's
the
exactly.
bicycle one is one that I like. It again, it adds to the cost because now you got to buy a bike. You probably most people got to get some sort of rack. You can just drive from your house and go places, but again, you could do that with hiking. You just walk out your door and start walking. Doesn't have to be a mountain. You can hike down the road. You can find a trail in your neighborhood, right?
Yep. Usually.
But more than likely, you're gonna now travel to a few places, bring the bike with you when you're doing whatever. A lot of the places now charge you for the bike trail.
Yep.
Daily pass, put the little thing on your handle, right? Again, good exercise. You can cover a little more distance. It's a lot of fun, but the the popularity now of the e-bike has changed that whole landscape. We know a bunch of people
Yes.
that have those.
Yep. And there's a bigger conversation that needs to go into those because the e-bike, so there's e-bikes and then there's e-bikes. And then, so there's the problem that we're facing is that you have e-bikes that don't have pedals,
Right.
right? And
The scooter.
those are solely electric bikes. And then you have electric bicycles that is electric assisted bicycling, right?
Correct.
I think I just want to go on a little soapbox run. We're having this issue in the town that we're in. If you get your kid one of these options that don't have pedals, they are an electric bike. They are supposed to be a licensed person with a motorcycle endorsement because it is technically a motorcycle at that point.
Dude, I complained before. There's been kids hurt. It's going to take a bunch of kids to get hurt before they solve this problem. They're not wearing helmets. Even if that thing only goes 20 miles an hour.
But they don't. Have you seen them?
Yeah, I know.
30, 40, 50?
Yeah, no problem.
And they're screaming through neighborhoods. It's like, dude, guys, you gotta stop. We actually had a post on Facebook in hometown here. The sheriffs came out and they're like, guys, you gotta stop. They had to chase down a group, like 4 or 5 of them. And one of them dumped their e-bike in the swamp and ran. And they're like, you guys got to understand that they need to have road equipment. They need to have helmets. They need to have motorcycle endorsements. You have to be a licensed driver. Like, these things are going way too fast, and kids are dumb. Kids are dumb. Everybody needs them.
There's a reason kids aren't allowed to even apply for a permit to drive until they're 16, which I said a few episodes ago is still, in my opinion, way too young.
It's getting
16-year-olds, most of them are morons.
Yeah.
Right. Not morons, not morons so much as just young and distracted and don't have enough life experience to know to watch out for common things that you learn later. Like,
dude, and let's face it, when we were young, we were indestructible.
Yes.
Like, we knew it. Like, yeah, I'm going to take this jump. I'm going to most likely crash, probably fine.
How many times did you jump over friends with a homemade ramp?
Yeah. Countless. Yeah. How many times did you hit your friend and then they were just like, ow, but they were fine?
Right. Yeah. Walked home like, like trembly lip crying, trying not to cry in front of their friends. Like, oh, my mom's calling. I think I got it. Like, yeah, for sure. Right. I was that person a couple of times. It was part of the reason I originally grew my beard in. You can see it if I shave it off, which I never will. I have a permanent dark scar under here where I took a rock in the chin after somebody threw a stick in the front tire of my bike going down the street one time.
Yeah.
So, and back on point, you're right about everything you said. It's the old man in us talking. Stay off my lawn. Stop driving like crazy kids, right? It also has changed just being on some of these park routes, trails. I'll be walking the dog and somebody will go screaming by on your left. Like, don't freak the dog out. Give me a heads up. You're the one who's going to bitch if the dog freaks because we didn't know you were coming at 25 miles an hour on your e-bike.
Right.
Posted speed limits that, again, who's going to pay attention? Like, if I had an e-bike was on the trail, I would probably be driving a little faster, but I would certainly slow down passing somebody. Kids don't think that way.
No.
Kids think racing their thing. So, and then if you've got a group of people, for a lot of these hobbies we'll talk about, it's a group thing. You'll go hiking with a number of people. You'll go biking with a number of people, golfing with a number of people. If now your friends all have e-bikes and you're on a Huffy,
you ain't keeping up.
You ain't keeping up, right? And the effort that you got to put in when they're just hitting the gas, so to speak, and going up a hill, and you're now chugging along to keep up,
right?
That's going to take the fun out of it real quick for you.
Yep. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, there was one loop outside of my hometown that I used to ride just for fun. The first time I did it by myself, I got in trouble because it took a while. It was 15 miles. And it was just this big loop around this mountain or hill and then back into town. And I got in trouble because I was gone forever.
Right.
And my mom just lost her mind. I'm like, no, this is where we went with the group. I'm just doing it again and again and again.
Yeah, were you back before the streetlights came on?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, then you were fine. In our day, you shouldn't have got yelled at for that. That wasn't fair.
But my mom also didn't care about the streetlight thing. Not when I was a kid.
She would be one of the very few. How old were you at this point, you think?
I was 14, 15. Yeah, my mom didn't care. She did not care.
You must have been getting into trouble because that seems like the age where it was more like get outside all day, come back with the streetlights. Like,
yeah, no, it was. I was the youngest of 5, and she was tired of dealing with shit. So,
Oh
Because
yeah,
just
youngest to five. Yeah, I forget
yeah,
about that, right?
just be back before you have to go to bed for school the next day.
Yeah, I never get to I never see any of your family because of family. So yeah, I forget sometimes you got a bunch of brothers and sisters. Uh, which also somebody mentioned this to me the other day because I saw it on a post and then I was talking with a guy about it. I I didn't realize when we were young that there was commercials or public service announcements, I guess is a better way to term it, uh, that were on TV like, hey, it's 8 p.m. Do you know
Where
where
are
your
your
children
kids?
are?
Yeah, where are your kids?
Do you remember that?
Uh-huh.
I must have been a kid when this happened, or maybe it wasn't on Canadian television. I mean, we had US stations, so probably, but I must have been too young to realize, or I was actually out running the roads when those came
Yeah, we
on,
were.
right?
Yep.
I can't believe that was such a panic back in the day that they had like PSAs for it.
Yeah,
That
little
gets me.
reminders.
I
It
loved
was
it.
it was the equivalent of today's little deal on your car dash that tells you to check the back seat for your kids.
Wait, there's something on the car dash that says to check the back seat.
Yeah. The newer cars, when you shut off the car and open the door, it tells you to check the back seat. People are leaving their kids in their car because they're idiots.
I like it.
Yeah, they're
The
dumb.
wonders of technology. You don't have to think for yourself at all anymore.
Well, it goes back to the hey, 1950s car the owner's manual told you how to adjust the valves. Now it tells you not to drink the contents of the battery.
Yes, we've talked about that before. That is,
The
yes,
dumbing down of
yeah, we're in a different
society.
world, right? For sure.
But
Uh,
back on point, when you're looking at electric bikes, I mean, those prices from a regular bike that you can get from Walmart, Kmart, I guess not Kmart anymore, but Walmart, Target, places like that, you're looking at, they start at, $100. You can get a halfway decent one. But the e-bikes, I mean, you're talking, they can range from $1,000 to $6,000. Like that's a
right.
commitment. That is
That's
a
a
financial commitment.
that's a commitment for some. I mean, now you can also say the people who are really committed to the bicycle. I mean, we've talked and complained before about the Tour de France dickheads on the side of the road.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? In their spandex and all this, the Lycra and everything, like, right? Those bikes, a lot of them are very expensive, right? But we're talking about
absolutely.
someone who's doing it. I guess I shouldn't have narrowed it down to people who are just taking a cruise. There's also those people, right?
Yeah.
I shouldn't call them dickheads, even though it's the way I feel. One thing I did want to point out here, though, so you're talking about the range. The missus and I test drove a couple of different models last year we were going to buy. We pumped the brakes a little. We'll probably end up getting something this summer, but we were looking more in the much lower range of just a simple fold out that we could take with us to a campground or a social event where you just fold it out and you can use it to bomb around. Uh, Years ago, when I was a little bit younger and we used to go camping with the family, uh, everybody had the little razor scooters
Yep.
to easily get around the campground. You know what I mean? This is the new version of that. Can throw a couple of these in the back of the truck. It's no problem. I wanted to point out that this is where it's at, though. All the money that gets spent on things. So the numbers that I found come from REI, the
Mhm.
outdoor co-op company, talks about the range, 1,000 to about six, like you said. You can spend more. Uh, it specifically says while you can find e-bikes for less than 500, we don't recommend them, and here's why. And they start making excuses about why they want you to spend more
Yeah.
on a fancier bike. Of course, if something is less expensive, and this goes for anything we're talking about today, if you buy a lesser quality product for a cheaper, of course the components aren't the same.
Right. No,
Of
you're
course
getting
you
what you
don't.
pay for.
You're getting what you pay for, right? It's what you can afford to get into because a lot of these things really are just luxury outdoor items. Like I said,
Absolutely.
you can go to the Walmart right now and get a cheap mountain bike for 120 bucks, probably less on sale, right? It's all about what you have the financial commitment or the interest in committing to financially to do any of these things, and it gets out of control. I tried to put our list in sort of a ascending order of cost. It's not
Yeah.
perfect because I mention it because the next two you could probably say could be flip-flopped as far as what an annual cost would be. All right.
Yep.
Uh, Gardening, it's tough to call it a hobby, but you're working with your body outdoors, planning projects, exercise. I mean, it's for people that is their hobby, right?
Well, I think it's just a way to, I think it's therapeutic, more of a therapeutic driven thing, right?
Could be said for your walk on a hike. Could be said for your bicycle rides. Yeah, I
True,
had the same initial reaction
true.
you did, right? But when I thought about it in the grand scheme of things, for someone who doesn't want to physically do that, and John still has his cough this week, he's trying to hide, folks. If you heard that little squeak,
Sorry.
uh, and I, and the other one was kayaking and canoeing.
Hmm.
They seem to be really comparable as far as price. There's a little bit of commitment as far as price goes on the front end with both of these for the later on enjoyment. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
You got to go out and you got to, I mean, like take my wife for an example. She goes every spring with a group of girlfriends, family and stuff like that, to a planting party at one of the local greenhouses. You bring your own pot or you buy one there. You buy one of these seedlings and one of those and one of these and one of these, and you put them in the pot and they serve them cheap wine and they make hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever they feed them. And then they put them in their greenhouse for you and they call you 2 months later and go, okay, come pick your shit up. She brings them home. She sporadically puts them in our planters and whatnot around the house. I love it.
Sure.
It makes the property look nicer. She enjoys it. It gets us outside doing things. But then the planter that we have vegetables in or herbs, there's also that, right?
Yep.
The cost is there. They don't give away any of that stuff because they know what you
No.
want.
Yeah, no, they don't. But the reward out of that is cost savings. Like there's a lot of like there's an ROI to that one, right?
Yes, for sure.
And we can go back and forth on saying, yeah, kayaking and canoeing, yeah, there's an ROI. You get, your health is better, you know, you, you don't have so many doctor's visits, blah, 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 blah. But with gardening, it is a direct ROI on your investment because it's something that you don't have to go to the store and buy tomatoes or cucumbers or
Right.
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
fresh herbs right there. And I got to tell you, this is one year that I'm really looking forward to it because as much as we have a big full-size planter full of various herbs every year,
Yep.
we use some of them, but some of it just seems to be for the sake of being out there once a day, tending to it, pulling weeds. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't see us using a ton of them, although my wife is much better at it than I am. But this year, now that I am in the slightly more into the baking world after listening to you and trying to expand that,
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to using some of those herbs in my baking for making savory breads and rolls and biscuits and things. So
Yep.
I'm going to actually have a lot more, and I'm curious to see how my spouse is going to react to my input on what should be in that planter. Because she's basically chosen what's in the yard as far as planting things goes for years now. And this is going to be the first year that I'm not just going with her to carry stuff to the truck and put dirt in and
Yeah, you're
right?
actually gonna have an
I'm going to be
input.
like, no, 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 you know what? Could use a little thyme, could use a little rosemary, like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
rosemary's huge.
Yeah, rosemary's a big one. So I'm curious to see how she goes. So I put that one before the canoeing kayaking thing because obviously then that gets you back into some of the same stuff as the bicycle. You gotta be able to transport it to where you're going. You likely are going somewhere where you got to get a park pass or you're camping for the weekend. You bring it with you and all that, right?
Yeah, but the cost for gardening really kind of varies. I would say every year, what average probably got now $500, $1,000 into it if you have to buy new planters and stuff like that for different,
Right.
new pots and stuff. So that's really not too bad because once you spend that money up front, which is minimal to a lot of hobbies, and the reward is it's all free at that point.
Yeah, but that's an annual go out and spend. And again, I'm not complaining. I like having the fresh herbs, the fresh vegetables. I love the plants around the property. It makes it look so much nicer. Like I
Right.
really do like that she does it. Uh, but that's kind of an annual thing. Like, yeah, the pots, sure, they last for a while, but they go to shit pretty quick,
Yeah.
right? Surprise, because they want like everything else, they want you to buy newer ones every few years or whatever. They're not made like they used to be, right?
Right.
With let's say the canoeing and kayaking, once you have your upfront cost of the equipment, that's going to last you a while. Now it's again just gas to get where you're going, park passes take the time. It's more front end loaded with smaller payments down the road.
Right.
Uh, and again, you can go outside and do gardening in your yard in the evening. It's the matter of walking outside. It's
Yep.
not the planning of, hey, this weekend we're going here, we're going there. Now, don't get me wrong. I have been asking around. We took Ripley the puppy in the canoe for a camping trip last year, and that dog loved it.
Mhm.
I'm definitely going to get an old used canoe from somebody this year and take the dog and the missus out, and we'll go canoeing more often, right? Like,
Right.
it was a great time. We're going to do it again.
Yep.
It's amazing. You think the pet is the cost, and then you realize it's also the cost of what you do to take the pet places. I was always so anti dogs aren't kids. Man, the more my life goes on, the more the dog is.
Kind of changing your mind, isn't it?
I used to laugh at people who said it. It's a lot like a kid. I know I've mentioned it recently. It's when you
Yep.
make a direct one-for-one comparison, except for the fact that they never learn to talk or clean up after themselves, it's a pretty similar thing.
Well, you can
But
teach them to pick up their toys, but
that's true. You can teach them a few things, right? But I digress. But before I move on here, buddy, I wanted to ask you something. I have hard and fast opinions about things sometimes that I either have reasons that I feel this way or it's just a gut feeling.
Mhm.
What is your take on the paddle boards?
Um,
On the canoe kayak part of the it seems a little, I don't know what it is, a little.
paddleboards are not canoes or kayaks.
No, I realize
They're
it's a
not
different
even in
thing.
the same class, right? I think if you
It
if you
seems
find
uppity to
it,
me.
I would put it in the uppity side. I would definitely do that. I think it is a phenomenal exercise.
Certainly.
I think if you're really wanting a full body workout, do that. You
Yes.
know, from head to toe. But I don't know. It's yeah. I'd go with uppity. I'd go with the snooty. I live in a town that's full of it. So yeah.
Listen, I see a lot of them. I've got, and it's no offense to anybody if you like paddleboarding, good on you, right? I've got family who have them, friends who have them. It it seems like a little bit much.
Yeah.
Like, just get a canoe. Like,
Yeah. Like if you're out there, I mean, there's got to be a draw to it besides the workout. I'd probably die on one,
I mean,
most likely.
I don't know if you die, right? But it just seems sort of, I don't know. Like I said, for some reason, the word uppity just keeps coming to my mind. It seems like an ultra fancy version of something just for the sake of being like fancy.
Yeah.
In my head, I think going for a jog versus these people who have to go and run a marathon.
Yeah.
Like, good on you if you enjoy it, but seems a bit much.
Well, what about that? What is it called? Paraboarding? Paras
Are you talking about,
skiing?
you mean, so are you talking about the one where the sail is on the board or the one where they hold the parachute up in the air?
Both. I
All
can't
right.
remember the name of them.
Yeah, so it was
Parasailing?
I think parasailing is the one where you have it's bad that they have the terms, right? So we'll just describe what we see. The people who use the little mini parachute to pull themselves around,
Yeah.
cool. Very, very cool. I get it, right? It's
That strikes me as more uppity than anything.
that crosses over in my mind. So you move from paddleboard to that. That goes into the people who like the air quotes extreme sports.
Yeah. Yeah. You're looking for an adrenaline rush.
I understand the desire of an adrenaline rush. I just realized I left the adrenaline rush things off our list because I was kind of trying to pick common ones. But
Right.
yes, there's that, right? Shout out to my brother Greg. I remember him saying when we were young, he had the board with the fixed sail.
Hmm.
I think they did call them sailboards. He'll correct me and let me know what it was. I don't know exactly what I said, but I think he told me with the one or two whatever summers he tried to get the hang of that. I think he said he actually managed to stay up for like a grand total of 30 seconds one time. He said it was incredibly hard.
Yeah.
I never did try it myself, but I'm sure it's like anything. Some people have an aptitude for things and then not. Which brings up a side note, buddy. You can invest in some of the things that we're talking about to find out that not only do you not like it, but you're also no good at it.
Yeah. Well, oh, you bring up a good point. You could rent all of this equipment for a day.
You can rent almost all this equipment for a day to try, but many people don't.
Right.
They see somebody doing X. All right. So listen, let's jump, okay? Golf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Golf's a big one because it's not only a financial investment, but a learning and time investment. Once you know how to ride a bike, you're good. You know how to walk, you're good. Canoeing and kayaking, it takes a little finesse to be able to maneuver properly, but most people get that pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
But golf, I mean, you don't have to take lessons. I never did.
Right.
But you got to learn, you got to practice. It's a totally different thing now, right?
Right.
And yes, you can rent clubs, but you don't want to rent clubs. You want to have some because you want to use the same thing over and over to get used to it.
Right.
And people will go out in many of these hobbies and spend a bunch of money for some mid to high end stuff right out of the gate and then find out, yeah, I'm no good at this, or I hate it, or they get frustrated quick and give up. And now you got $1,000, $2,000 sitting in your garage, your shed, your house, just staring at them going, well, that was a waste of money.
Yep.
That's a big thing too when people get into a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I try to curve that as much as possible. I think that's probably why I stick to the hobbies that I do. And not because I'm not interested in doing other stuff. Like I've never really gone kayaking and canoeing. Like I've paddled a John boat, which is pretty much the same thing, you know?
What? Whoa. Pump both brakes. No, it's not.
Well,
You talking about a John boat with a stick? With a pole, pushing yourself along, maneuvering yourself?
no, with paddles, actually paddling it across the space. It's the same concept, right? You have to paddle one side in order to steer. You have to paddle it on both to keep it straight. It's the same.
So
It's not the same, but it's the
that in
same
itself,
concept.
that in itself proves that what you said, that you don't have a lot of experience, because no, if you know how to canoe, you never, except in an extreme problem, have to change sides with your paddle. It's called a J stroke, as in the letter J.
Yes,
You
you're right.
never have to do that. Now,
You're
come
right.
on.
You're right.
But you did say you didn't have a lot of experience, so I can't berate you for not having experience in something that you admitted you don't have
Right.
experience in.
So I've never found the interest in doing that. Right. I found my hobbies years ago, things I like to do. You know, I used to go skiing and snowboarding. I quit
Roger
that
that.
when I moved here because all of our hills suck over here. There isn't a good ski hill here compared to what I
Not
had.
unless
at
you
home.
want to go a few hours north.
Yep. But other than that, it's just, I don't know. I keep to what I know. And do you think we do that as we get older? Do you think we just kind of settle for hobbies?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if it's so much settle, but settle's as good a word as any, I suppose. You have found things as you get older that you enjoy. And hopefully, myself included, you're open-minded enough to occasionally try something new to maybe you love it. Do you know what I mean? But
Right.
yeah, if you've found things you enjoy, and like you said a few minutes ago, you only have so much time. And every new thing is probably going to be at the expense of not doing one of the other ones.
Yep.
So
Time
I
and
have
money.
I have a perfect example coming up here. I'm just saving it towards the end. Yes, man, that's the way it's going to go. So you can also fall back into things. The next one I had on the list was fishing. I have mentioned recently, I fell away from fishing for years, and now last year went out a couple of times. You were nice enough to loan me that fishing rod, which, by the way, I think I've mentioned. You got some brand new, nice braided line on that now, buddy, when I get it back to you, because I'm going to buy myself a new one in the next couple weeks. I've been looking really intently. I'm going to get a new rod and reel and start my kit again.
Keep it for a backup. You're fine. I've got others.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate it. But that's one that, for me, it falls into all of these things that we've been talking about. You can take all your gear. You could have a cheap set from the Kmart, like you said earlier, that doesn't exist anymore. SpongeBob SquarePants, rod and reel, and a little tackle kit. That's $19.99 for your kid going on vacation, or you can spend thousands of dollars
very quickly.
Very, very quickly, right? Also, I can take my gear and I can walk in the little path behind my house down to the pond where I see people fishing all the time and throw my lure out there a handful of times on a pretty night and enjoy it. Or I can gear up and go with myself, my spouse, a bunch of friends on a fishing trip to wherever and spend a bunch of money in flights and transport. That's one of the biggest gambits it seemed was fishing, right? And for everybody who's screaming in their head right now, I know that hunting falls into what we're talking about. We've separately done hunting things. I'm just leaving that off the list today because we're talking about other stuff. I realize
it's in there.
Yeah, I realize hunting is in there. That's a whole thing. We've talked about it ad nauseum in hunting episodes. So I'm not forgetting about it, folks. We're just focusing on other things. The fishing one is a big one.
Yeah, fishing can get huge. I mean, the minute you decide that you want to buy a boat.
See, I didn't even think about the boat part. Like, so many of my friends have boats, right?
Right.
Right. There's the joke, right? There's two kind of fishermen. There's the kind who have boats, and then there's their friends. Like,
yeah, exactly. Right? And I tell you what, if you ever catch me buying a boat, I want you to personally, Jason, put the gun to my head.
I am not going to let you spend money on a big, fancy, expensive boat.
I have no reason to buy a boat. I enjoy fishing. I used to. I fell out of it. I haven't felt the need to get back into it. And I think, so here's where oh, fuck.
See, if
I were to start camping again and camping at lakes, I would start fishing again because I just sit on the shoreline. Right. Or I'd sit on the fishing dock.
Yeah, you're already there.
Yeah, I'm right there.
Yeah, it's a lovely evening to sit on a nice, pretty night and just
have a glass of whiskey, toss the line in. Even if you're just with a buddy and all you're doing is shooting the shit and you're not catching goddamn things over a buzz, it's still a good night to fish. Right?
Perfect. Exactly right. Yeah. Now I did think of one thing though, and I put it in the notes here so I didn't forget. One of the bonuses, at least for me personally, of my reinvigorated interest in learning how to fish again, because I was the same as you. I had fallen off for years. A couple of our buddies, Doug and Nick, took me out last year on different occasions. I had a great time. I'm like, oh, that's right. This is a ton of fun. And then realized, as I've mentioned, well, I don't have a kit anymore at all. I got a cheap one off Amazon that had just some basics. My buddies already threw me a couple of things, right? But it is now an automatic go-to for my missus for the foreseeable future for gifts.
Easy gifts.
I'm going to start. I'm liking stuff on my Amazon. Just go on and check it out, baby, and just pick something that's in the price range that you wanted to spend for this particular social event. Like, it's going to make her life easy.
I can tell you where the line is for fishing for me, right?
No pun intended. Go ahead.
When fishing becomes work instead of fun, musky fishing.
Oh, yeah.
You're nonstop tossing a 10-pound fucking lure all goddamn day, hoping that this gigantic fish is going to follow it to the boat.
Right.
But the last time I went musky fishing, I shit you not, Jason, 1 o'clock, I was sleeping in the boat. I was so fucking exhausted.
Yeah, I believe it, man. I can see that. And for me, it was what I realized that had sort of either I never knew or had just simply forgotten about was one of my buddies when I was with him and his brother, and they had a few different rods and reel setups for the different possible fish. I'm like, oh yeah, I now have to learn about all that again. Wait, that means I need multiple. Oh, that's right, and multiple lures and different. Oh, that's right. It gets expensive really quick. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like, am I just? Really I'm just going to be a bass fisherman or a trout fisherman or like right. Now the bonus
fly
is
fishing.
Though, right? Or fun. Yeah,
holy
forget about
shit,
fly fishing, right? Like, yeah. Then you want to talk about a hobby of tying your own flies. We could go down the fishing thing for an hour, right? Like that's yeah. I didn't even think about the boat until you mentioned it because I know people have boats. And in my head, I thought more of what you were talking about of if you're going camping or you're whatever, where you can just go out, sit in the shoreline, sit in the dock, buzz a few out there for a while, catch a buzz if nothing else. Like you were right on with that. So
Yep.
I did have to bring up a couple here, buddy, that probably aren't super related to you or I, but they were out there. Actually, I should say just one. Bird watching is high up on a lot of these lists. It's a
Look,
light.
I'm a nerd. All right. I am, in all intents and purposes, I'm kind of a nerd. I ain't that kind of nerd.
Oh wow, you're putting me in a spot here now. Okay,
Yeah,
so
because I know you got a big ass bird feeder.
we
Yeah.
have multiple bird feeders in our house. I put up a birdhouse, specifically a new one last year because the bluebirds didn't seem to be able to build a nice enough nest to draw in a mate. So I'm like, I'm gonna get a new house that's clean. We did get bluebirds there last year. I saw one today trying
Oh,
to,
yeah.
for some reason, fly its way into my garage window as we were having a smoke before we got rolling here today. So the
That's funny.
bluebirds are back. I can't wait to tell my missus. I I will not go out into nature with the intent of trying to see birds, find birds, whatever, right? Uh, but I like to see them at the birdhouses and the feeders in the yard.
Yeah.
I try to keep track of what sounds different ones make. So when we are out hiking, camping, I'm like, oh, blue jay, oh, cardinal, oh, whatever. We do have a set of little cheap binoculars by our back door when the birds come around to take a look. I won't go out and actively bird watch, air quotes, but I like birds.
Do you got a book?
One small book that we've had forever, a field guide of like Midwest birds that I bought my missus 15 years ago.
Yeah, you're
We
a bird watching nerd.
we
It's okay.
haven't gotten to the point where we're like highlighting the birds we see. Have I dog-eared a few pages in the summers to keep track of the ones that I've actually seen? Yep, sure I
That's the
have.
same as highlighting.
I realize it's
okay.
similar in my head. It's a distinction that makes me feel less of like a bird nerd. But again, we don't take trips. We don't hike specifically out there with a big
Right.
set of spyglasses trying to find a tufted black and white field tit or whatever you want to call them, right? Like, you know what I mean? I'm not into it that far, right?
Right.
But do I enjoy seeing the birds come around, the different? Yes, I definitely like to see that. I enjoy
Yep.
that part. Now, we got the pup. We saw less birds last year, and we're gonna see less this year.
Yeah, she's all over them.
She's out there. It does tend to spook them a little bit. Now, around our bird feeders, did I put up posts and chicken wire to keep her from eating seeds and knocking the seed at? Yeah, sure I did. Have we also now discussed within the last 3 weeks, my missus and I, of me building something slightly more permanent that doesn't look like chicken wire and posts? Yep. Have I been budgeting and figure? Yep. So
Yep.
I must admit, we are making literal adjustments in the yard to make it more appealing to have more birds around. Like,
You know what would be really cool to use for that? Just off topic,
please,
like an old keg.
dude, you wouldn't, but you probably would. The birds fling the seed and the stuff they don't want so far, it's not wide enough.
No, not the metal keg, like the old barrel kegs. Like
The
what?
the diameter would need to be so like what I have now, it's basically round, it's a bit of an oval, but the longest part of the diameter is probably 5 feet, and they still
Oh
fling
yeah, that's
seed,
not gonna do that.
and they still fling seed outside of that. I'm probably going to
Yeah.
end up buying paving stones, or not paving
Yeah.
stones, but like building a little round stone wall up about, whatever the dog won't try to jump over, because
Right.
currently she digs under the chicken wire just to eat seeds and rabbit feces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to actually dig down a foot, put them in the goddamn, like, it's going to be a construction
gonna
project so we can have more birds around. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
I'm a bird enjoyer, but saying bird watcher, I'm still going to say it's a fine line of bird nerd to what I do. I
I've
know
got
where you're coming from.
I've got a bunch of bird houses that are on my fence from the people that owned the house before, and I went through when we first bought them because they were just full of wasp nests.
Mhm.
And so I went through and I killed all the wasps and dug all the nests out of there and stuff like that. But The birds don't use them. Um, actually, every year, it's so funny because we have a set of robins. They must come back every year because they build a nest underneath my deck, right up on the structural cross member, just tucked up in there. And that's where their nest is. Every year the wind blows it out, and every year they build a new one. And I'm like, huh, it's got to be the same ones.
Was it you telling me they build false nests?
Mm-mm.
A lot of birds build the nest you're talking about, the one up out of most predator range. A cat could climb up there, whatever, but normal predator range, hidden underneath something so big flying birds don't see them, which I've got a story about that in a minute. And then they'll also build a false one at a lower level close by that's sort of like junky as like
Really?
a distraction. I did notice that.
Huh,
Yeah, we get the
interesting.
same thing. The birds like to get my sensor light outside the main door. They like to try to build one there.
Yeah.
A lot of time when your downspouts off your drains, they like to
Flatten
get little
out.
crux. They
Yeah.
like to build one in there, right? You mentioned it. I had two robins who were obviously scoping out the area. This would have been a week and a half ago. I'm just out there. I'm kind of checking out the yard. There's some kids playing in the park. It was a nice day. I was having a smoke, and all of a sudden my hat goes. I'm like, what the fuck? And I look up. Goddamn robin dive bomb me.
Yep.
They were trying to make their territory known. I walked in the house and opened the door and went, "Get out of here, dog."
Yep.
There was no more fucking around after that. They were up on my garage going, no, we're good. Sorry, man.
Dude, the robins over here will actually dive bomb our dog. Remy's short. Like
Remy's little. Yeah.
He doesn't even know they're there. He's just out there doing his business.
Right.
And they'll just sit there and dive bomb him.
Yeah.
Just nonstop. And I'm like, give it a break. He's not gonna hurt you.
Yeah, we've had that a couple of times with the bluebirds. And I will say it helped for a while, but I think in what you're talking about with birds being the same, we obviously have the same sort of family of squirrels that live in our trees locally. You know what I mean? I heard, this had been 2 or 3 summers ago, I heard the bluebirds clicking, and then the squirrels would freak out, and I'd see the bluebirds like dive bomb the squirrels and chase away. I'm like, great bluebirds. That's why part of the reason I put up the new birdhouse. I'm like, good, chase those little bastards out of here.
Right.
They're digging holes in my yard, eating our birdseed and shit, right?
Right.
When I heard that, for a while, I could stand at my back door and click like they did, and the squirrels would freak out and run away. But then they caught on real fast, like, no, that's not the same thing. That's that asshole up there who feeds us. Like, no, that's not the birds. Don't worry about that guy. But now with the dog, no. Open the door. They're gone.
Yep.
Yeah, every time they come to the bird feeder, they're just taking their lives in their own hands. That dog is fast.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Yeah,
maybe I am kind of a bit of a bird nerd. But again, I don't take trips. I just like it. I enjoy seeing them.
Yeah.
So do you think, because this one was on the list, buddy, do you think barbecuing counts as a hobby?
It can. I think barbecuing becomes a hobby when you start doing like competitive barbecuing.
Smoking.
Like competitive style.
Okay, so you're saying it's a hobby if you're going to an event.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's where I mean, otherwise it's barbecuing, it's cooking, it's hanging out with friends.
Is your baking a hobby? You're not going to competitions.
No.
Devil's advocate.
No, I don't think my baking is a hobby. I think it's just something we enjoy doing during the holidays because I don't do it all year round. The most I do all year round is fucking banana bread. And that's just because we get a pile of freaking bananas throughout the year.
Right. And it is good for rotten bananas, or not rotten, but rotting. Yeah. When they get overripe bananas. They do make a good banana bread. I'll give you that one. And
I think that's where I consider. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's kind of where I'm thinking.
Yeah, that makes a good point. So all right, we briefly hit on golfing, but I mean everybody knows that one can be that's pricey in the same way. Equipment is pricey, trips are pricey, green fees. I saw a great post recently of if you don't think that golf is a drug, you can spend $50 or you can spend extra to get the good stuff at 100 or 150. You'll do it with strangers. It's like, it sounds like a drug.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you want to do when you finish golfing is go back golfing again. Like,
yeah.
And somebody pointed out, I'm like, it really does sound like a drug a little tiny bit. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When they said do it with strangers, I'm like, that's true. You'll partner up with a bunch of strangers to go golf and like
Yo,
randomly think nothing of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah. So
I sit there and the expense for me is I keep thinking about buying a new set of clubs.
mhm.
Getting a set of clubs that's actually set to me, you know. But I know that that's going to be $1,500. I'm not ready to spend that on golf.
We don't golf enough to care. We're
Yeah.
not good enough to care.
No,
Right.
no. I wish I was, but I'm not, and I ain't got the time.
This now falls into just about everything we talked about. You have the habit of coming to things organically so much that I really like it. That could be said for your hiking equipment, your bicycles, even your gardening equipment, your kayaks, your fishing equipment. It's all how committed you are to spending the money and the time that you're going to do it. You don't need a fancy whatever if you're only going 4 times a year, 2 times a year, right? Yep, hit the mute button. Another cough.
Thank you.
You're getting pretty good at that.
Trying. Yeah, you're 100% right. If you're willing to spend a lot of time, if you have the time, right?
Or the means, the financial means,
or
stuff
the
sometimes
means,
too, right?
and
Like, yeah.
because a lot of the stuff you can get into super, super, super cheap, right? It doesn't take a lot of expense to get into it. You know, if you shop around, if you do your due diligence, if you look for sales, if you buy things on Facebook Marketplace, right? But it's for me, it's more of a time thing because I'll be honest, dude, especially during the summer, especially doing the work that I'm doing now, I'm fucking exhausted. I don't want to go golfing for 4.5 hours. You know, I don't want to go on a hike. I don't want to load up the rig to go camping for the weekend. None of that sounds good. You know what I mean?
So this brings up the next point perfectly. We've been talking about the financial commitment of all this. Then there's the time commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That, for a lot of people, you included, obviously, from what you just said, is the biggest problem for many people. Certainly, some people can't get into certain sports or hobbies or whatever because of the financial part of it. But many people just don't have the time, or they already have a thing or two that they'd have to give up the thing or two in order to try the new thing.
Right.
I know where you're coming from, right? Yeah. It's a lot of these things are a half full day weekend commitment to do something that's supposed to be fun and
Yeah.
can feel a bit like a hassle now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
And I
keeps
think
keeps a lot
that
of people out of it.
changes. It really does. I think it changes with the seasons of your life, right? Because there was a time there that you'd call me up and, hey, let's go golfing. Yeah, where? There's no hesitation. Like I'm
On my
down.
way. Yep.
Like, tell me where, tell me what the tee time is.
Yeah, kept the
Um,
clubs in the vehicle.
Yep.
Didn't even bother taking them out.
Nope. But then there was also, now there's times where it's just like, if you think about doing your hobby, it's not that you don't enjoy the hobby anymore. It's just you've got other things that you'd prefer to do in the time, in the time of your life. But if you sit there and say, your buddy calls you up and it's like, hey, let's go to the gun range, or let's go to the golf range, let's go for a round, let's figure out next weekend, and you sit there and you have an audible don't go, don't waste your time, it's not going to be worth it. Like,
Devil's advocate. How many times have you pulled yourself up by the bootstraps and went, I haven't seen so-and-so in a while. I really didn't have anything panicky today. I'm going to load up the clubs. And then once you were there, oh, I'm glad I dragged myself out of the house today to do this. I can worry about that lawn tomorrow.
there are
Where you
certainly
did
those
enjoy
times.
yourself, right?
And you always will, right?
Yeah.
And especially if you enjoy the hobby. Like, if you ask me to go, kayaking, Jason, I'm probably not going to go.
Right. Not the best example, right?
But
But if I told you like a
yeah.
month from now the weather started to get good and I called you up on Friday night and went, "Hey man, golfing tomorrow 10." Maybe you had something to do But if you said, nah, we haven't done it in a year, yeah, all right, drug up, drove over,
But
you
I,
would have a good time, right?
yeah, I wouldn't have that audible sigh of, oh, fuck.
I
You know what I
I see
mean?
what you're saying. That
It,
makes sense,
it
buddy.
it reaches a point, it reaches a level or whatever that you sit there and you have to do that. Like, yeah, don't go. But yeah, I think hobbies are also important on the aspect that you just said. You they're important to break up your monotony, break up your life, to actually get a dopamine rush.
Yep.
You know, that's
Yeah. It's physically and mentally investing time in yourself to not get stuck in a rut.
yeah, yeah. Before you
And
drive your significant other crazy.
right. And for people, especially who work blue collar and work physical jobs, it can be mentally tiring, physically tiring, frustrating during the week. And the last thing you think about on your Saturday morning when you get up is going to do another 4 or 5 all day, all weekend physical thing. When a
Right,
lot of people, they've been stuck in the office all week and can't wait to get outside. I get there's a difference
right,
there, right? There certainly
right.
is. Uh, so this brings me up to, I mean, it's not a final point, but it's kind of the last thing I was really going to jump into here.
Mhm.
The the comment that you made and we talked about briefly of you can't do everything.
Right.
Sometimes sacrifices need to be made. You can only have so many hobbies, most people, right? I am in, as I've mentioned to you and talked to some other people, I'm in a bit of a quandary right now because you and I, during the summer, I don't know if you consider it a hobby, but we spend a lot of time on the motorcycles as much as we kind of can.
As, yeah, when we
You know what I
can,
mean? You can't do every weekend like some of our friends who just have the availability.
or every Tuesday or Thursday, or
Right. The
because they're
retired
fucking retired.
some retirees, some
Fuck
people
all of
who
you a little bit
also,
if
yeah,
you're
who
listening.
who the roads that we ride are a block and a half away from their house. They get out of the house, they turn a left. The first stop sign is the regular roads we run out of town. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We've got to spend, for me, 25 or 30 minutes to get to the roads. For you, an
Hour
hour
and a
and
half.
15, an hour
Yeah.
and a half, right? That changes things a bit. You can't go for a quick evening run on the roads over here, right?
Yeah, not with the group anyway.
Not with the group, right? But then take me, I have mentioned briefly, I've been talking to a lot of people. I enjoy camping. My missus really likes it. That's the sort of outdoorsy I enjoy, but we're to the point in our lives where tenting is no longer enjoyable like it used to be. And I am
Yeah.
I am actively looking at considering a camper. A very reasonable 24 foot tow behind the truck. I don't want to buy a new truck to tow the damn thing. Something light and small and reasonable. Upgrade from the tent.
Mhm.
That brings in every single thing that we talked about today, which was part of the antithesis of why I was like bringing this up, right?
Right.
It's everything. It's the financial commitment of now getting a camper, whether new or used. Side note, surprisingly inexpensive for a brand new camper.
They are. What you'll even be more shocked about is the financing options that you get on those. If you haven't seen them, we're talking 12 to 20-year loans.
Yeah, for very, very like it, right? And so folks, surprisingly low. Like when I looked up a brand new, I mean, I'll give you an example. I'm looking at all the brands. I work on the road, so I every time one passes me, I try to make a note of the brand name and look, see how nice it is, you know. Uh, I was expecting it was going to be, 40, $50,000 for like, no, you can get a really reasonable base level brand new Coleman for about 13 grand.
Yep.
They're not that crazy expensive, but if you want a few extra options, it's like anything else. The price now, up. And you have to, shout out to John Littlefield, a good friend of ours, supporter of the show. He's had a nice one for a while, and he pointed out, just remember though, it's the extras you're not thinking of. It's all the tables and the camp furniture and a little generator and this and that. I'm like, oh yeah, you got to furnish the whole thing on the inside with plates and cups and yeah, there is
Yep.
also that, right?
Yard
But
sales are your friends.
yard sales, your friends, yeah. Uh, but the problem for me is I know that you can do both, but I can't see a place in the scheduling of my spring, summer, fall that I can be both a motorcycle rider and a camper.
Yep.
Yeah, can you buy a fancy toy hauler where the back folds down, you can drive your motor? Sure, you can. But if I'm going camping, my thought isn't pull the trailer in, set everything up, drive the motorcycle all day, and then go back and camp. I'm camping. I'm going to go fishing. I'll take the canoe out, campground, right?
Hmm.
I'm now in the point where I don't know if, because I can store the motorcycle in the garage for free all summer. Folks, I don't have a property where I can park a camper.
Yep.
I now
That's
have
the
to
problem I have.
factor in storage of that.
Hmm.
It's more gas to pull the thing, but I'll have the comfort of a camper when I go places, which is now more expensive than a tent site because I need power and water. The whole thing just ramps up so quick, right?
Yep.
But it's not even that so much as because I spend money on insurance for the bike and gas, and when we go places and all that, the trips we take, the rallies we go to. I don't know that I can have both, and I don't know that I'm willing to give up one for the other.
Right.
And
Well,
I'm right in it right now. I told you last year I had partially sort of fallen out of love with the motorcycle a little bit.
right.
Now the
And
second I got back on it in the spring, came flooding back.
right. I would agree with you there. I think the difference is like if because I know both of us, our bikes are paid off.
Yeah.
Right. We don't have those payments. I think if we had those payments, because I'm in the same boat as you, like, and I don't feel required to ride my motorcycle like I did when I had payments on it.
Yeah, that's
Right.
right.
Because it's just like, oh, I'm paying for the fucker. I need to ride that damn thing. Now it's just like, nah, it's in good shape. It's gonna stay in good shape. Like you said, free place to store it in the garage. It's got a parking spot. I'm not worried about it. And yeah, the riding hasn't been very fun for me either in the past probably 2, 3 years. It just
Yeah,
hasn't been what it
you had
was.
some health issues. Well, you got physiological, I shouldn't say health. Your shoulder was bad. You couldn't really ride. Like, yeah,
Well, I had neck surgery.
yeah.
Like it kind of sucked. But now, like, I always say it. I want to take longer rides. I don't want to, yeah, because when I get with the group that we're a part of, I ride an hour to an hour and a half to meet up with everybody. And then I'm riding an hour and a half home after the day's done, where everybody, by the time I'm halfway there, everybody's home, you know, and I
Yeah,
still
I'm home.
got,
I'm home before you really hit the freeway, and I'm the
right,
furthest one out,
right.
other than you, right? Like, yeah.
Yep. So
But
I see where you're coming from, but having both, I think that's the difference is now you can commit to the camper and not feel bad for leaving the motorcycle in the garage.
yes, it's a paid for toy, sure, right?
Right.
But this brings up what was my last point. I'm not trying to wrap things up or anything, but take all of this stuff together, and it comes down to if it's not an activity, like you can certainly go camping by yourself. You can certainly bicycle, hike, golf, ride motorcycles. You can do all these things on your own if you want. Most of the
Sometimes that's
time,
best.
right? Sometimes that's best, but most of the time, it's the community that you hang with
Mhm.
is your hobby of choice, right?
Yep.
If you switch dramatically like I did, I don't want to lose my community,
Right.
even though I want this. It makes it real tough. There's the financial commitment, there's the money commitment, but then there's the community that you're involved in. And if you switch to, it's like getting laid off and going, I got to now learn a bunch of brand new guys' names and meet a bunch of new jerk offs on a new job site. Like, well, I'll just stay where I'm at. Fuck it. Like,
Right.
you will keep some of the things you enjoy doing just because it's what you're used to.
Right.
That's the rut that you mentioned a while ago. I'm wondering at my age, am I now in that rut? And I just wanted to kind of talk about this one today because I bet there are other people who want to make some of these, let's call it a fun hobby lifestyle choice change, who are reluctant to do so because of some of the stuff we talked about.
Yeah, it depends on the level of importance you have or that you put on it, right? Like, I don't know. would it hurt my feelings? Would I feel bad if if I was in your shoes, right? And I was thinking, oh, I'm going to buy a camper. I'm going to start, camping, which means that I'm going to have to leave this group behind. I probably wouldn't feel bad because I still talk to them, right? And it's not like I'm not ever going to go riding the bike.
Right.
It's just I'm going to spend less time with them. I'm going to do something that's for me and the wife, and you know.
I just realized I left out an important part of my decision making process that is different than what you're talking about. In my head, yes, I'd keep the bike in the garage because it's a paid for toy and I don't have to worry about any of that, right? But I can sell my bike and get a nice new camper or a fairly nice used one, even better, for the cost of that toy that would now sit more than half the time in the garage. And then I would see the group much. Yes, let's just certainly keep track. I can jump in the truck and follow everybody on the motorcycles, certainly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll miss it at that point.
And now we come to the crux of where I'm stuck, buddy. I really want this, but I feel like it's going to make me give up that. How do you decide what hobby is best for you? Because I love camping. My missus loves it. If we had a camper tomorrow, we went online January 1st when they open up all the registration to book campsites. We'd drive around and we'd go every third weekend, probably all spring, fall, and summer, and have a great time.
Yep.
Then I'm pressing to go for rides on the weekends. I'm home, also trying to do things around the house. It's just one of these things where I wish I had more time. Yep. And we've got so many friends that are retired now who have all the free time in the world. It's like,
yeah. Now let's look at it at another aspect too, because you talk about money and the cost of doing these things. You need to be able to free up other time in order to be able to do things. So take my instance. I know that I'm going to have a crazy summer schedule, right? I know my summer work, it's becoming important to me because it's something that I'm really enjoy doing, right? So I know for my own sanity, I don't have time to come home and mow the lawn and stuff because that takes away time. I still want to get on the bike. I want to throw them, I don't want to have to chew up my weekends by doing lawn maintenance and shit.
Right.
So I hired that out this year. That's another cost, right? I have to expend that money in order to free up this time for myself. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're paying a kid fucking pennies for
No,
that.
I'm not. I'm not paying him. It's an actual lawn service.
Oh, you're not paying the kid anymore?
No.
Okay.
No. He hasn't contacted me in a while now, but I just, got a lawn service and they're going to take care of it. Weed and feed and mowing and
full service,
all the
right?
things. So now that frees me up from having to worry about that. Now this summer I can, when I come home on the weekends, I can throw the missus on the bike. We can go for a ride. We can go do whatever.
Well,
so that might be a thing for you. That's why I bring it up. That might be a thing for you because stuff around the house really during the summertime, it really boils down to yard maintenance. Well, if you spend that money, then that frees you up on your time and you ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, for me, it's the change in of how I think at my age I would like to spend a lot of my nice weather weekends, because our winters and falls, late fall, early spring, it sucks here. We are just talking about it, right?
Yep.
My priority is to spend time with my missus.
Mm-hmm.
She is the person that I want to spend my life with. I still do. I want to do stuff with her. Yes. Do we motorcycle together? Sure, we do. The thought of being able to spend more time going to a pretty campground and taking a walk and going fishing and hanging with the dog, it's starting to appeal to me more. But I'm at the spot where is the commitment of doing that going to cost me not cost me, but certainly affect my social group that has been our group for years now, buddy.
It definitely will.
Yeah, my point was, it's just so many of these things are so many factors of cost to learning to time commitment to social group. Like you think of your hobbies as just your hobbies, but they factor in so many decisions in your life for a bunch of different reasons that it's
Yeah, but then we go down a philosophical conversation too, right? Like, why are you doing things for somebody else? Are they helping you with the cost? No.
no,
Are
that's
they
true.
part, do they make your decisions for you? No. Like I try not to anymore. I try not to factor that into things. I try to focus very, very tiny, very small, right? Like if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it for this reason. And if it's for me, if it's ever, I'm not going to do it because of these people. I'm, I don't even calculate that. I've shoved that right out of my fucking mind because it's not for them and it's not about them. I do it for myself. Like, do it for the person that I'm going to freaking die with.
I see what you're saying. You're right. It all of a sudden becomes a philosophical question. You're true. It's not that I'm doing it for them. That's not what I'm getting at. It's that since I say they are my community and also my missus community,
Mm-hmm.
she would miss that part of it. So that factor in is both of us.
Yep.
It's not just me who would miss that part. She also enjoys that part of it too.
Yep.
Now, if it does go down that road, my intent is make sure a number of those weekends, if we did go the camper route. And again, I'm probably not going to get rid of a free toy. I can afford to go out and buy a camper, right? Keep the bike. A lot of those camping trips will be on the route that is very common routes of the motorcycle riders and just let everybody know, hey, while you're on your spin today, the missus and I are going to be at X. Stop by X, let me know what time you're coming. I'll fire up some burgers, come have a beer. We'll still see everybody, right?
Well, I'm very happy that you've officially came to the realization of what I already knew.
Which is,
Dude, before going into it, you're going to do both. You will 100% do both. I know you well enough. I was trying to get you to say that right there. You're going to do both. Like,
but I can tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to buy a toy hauler.
no, I mean, the toy haulers are great because I plan on buying one
When I retire.
when I retire.
Yeah.
When I hit the actual road, but then I'm buying, a 1-ton truck and it's going to be a
brand new
35
truck,
foot,
right? Yeah.
it's going to be a 35-foot toy hauler with all the amenities, washer and dryer in it, the
Yeah,
whole,
right, yeah.
whole
Yeah, the
shebang.
whole thing. Exactly.
I'm going to be towing a vehicle behind the toy hauler, like with the
Yeah, a little
motorcycle
piece of
inside.
shit like Jeep or something, right? Like
Some
the old days, nobody used to pull a Suzuki Sidekick back there because they were small and cheap, and yeah,
right. I
Yeah.
might even throw, put a trailer for the motorcycle on it and closed trailer, and then have Mini Cooper inside the toy hauler. Who knows?
exactly what.
Yeah,
So that is kind of where it comes up, right? Yeah, it's all about what you want to work towards. I know John and we're not old, but we're looking at retirement.
yeah.
It's in the distance. We can see
It's
it.
in
We
the
have to
distance.
start thinking, right? So
Yep.
also why I think it would be nice to learn the lessons of camping, traveling without the extra of the toy hauler and the vehicle behind now.
Yep.
So by the time we're ready to retire and we do have to buy the full toy hauler and the brand new truck to pull it and all that, we know where we're at.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I'd like to point this out too. You guys going camping, it's not just about the motorcycle aspect. It's not just about it's the fact of, I know how important your dog is to you. You can take your dog camping and you don't have to cut the ride short to go home and take care of the dog.
we can bring the pup.
You know what I
like
mean?
that is part of it. Yeah.
That's a big aspect of it because that takes into account.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that out loud, but you're right. Being able to include the pup for sure.
Yeah.
And if I haven't mentioned, there's two things that I wanted to point out here. Let me jump back real quick to the e-bike thing. If you haven't seen it and it hasn't come up on your Instagram algorithm, the e-bike with the sidecar for the dog.
I've
Look,
said it.
Are they expensive? Yeah. Is it not so expensive that I'm like, maybe I could swing that to bring the dog places? We only need one of the expensive ones. That definitely has crossed my mind.
Right.
But the fact that there's a real possibility that pup might become pups shortly.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, somebody mentioned to me recently, it's like you're drowning and you're holding a baby. You'll be fine if somebody throws you another baby. They
Yeah.
float, like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
There's a real good chance that Ripley's going to get a little brother or a big brother one of these days
Right.
real fast. So, yeah, we got to consider a different sort of dog parent lifestyle. But yes,
Yep.
you're right. I did kind of get to where you thought I was at. I didn't mention the dog thing, but you're right. It's a real factor. Yeah.
Yep.
We got to leave her home on the bike and I can take her camping. And yeah, it's true, buddy. What did I start with today? Dogs or kids?
Dogs are kids.
Dogs are kind of kids.
Right.
You got anything else, buddy?
I don't, man. I think we beat this dead horse enough.
All right. So I've made it pretty clear that my brain is trying to figure out the details and logistics of getting a camper.
Yep.
Changing my lifestyle mildly to start. And for anybody who can read it in the background, I don't know how clear it is. I wrote down there, I can get behind glamping, a comfortable camping. I used to tease people about the glamping thing, glamour camping. I could get behind glamping. I get it now. I was really negative 5 years ago. Now I'm like, I get it.
Yep.
It's if there was one thing on the list of stuff we talked about, or even something we didn't talk about, okay? Let's say you had some time. You had 8 hours a week. Is there a hobby that interests you in your head that pops up that you think about from time to time that you're like, I really wish I had the time to do this or to learn this or to try this? Is there something on your list? Anything we talked about, or even something that you do?
Blacksmithing.
Blacksmithing.
Forging.
Speaking of a financial fucking commitment.
Right.
Right. All right. That being said, I appreciate that one. That one's really interesting. How many episodes of Forge and Fire do you think you've watched?
All but probably half a dozen.
Okay. It's a pretty great show, right?
It's fantastic.
It's like Top Chef, only you can burn yourself way, way worse.
Yeah, one of the semifinalists, I think he took second. It was actually he's in Rapid City, South Dakota.
Oh, okay, beauty. So hometown boy.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, forging. Yeah, I can see you doing that. You got the look for it. You just got to get one of them bandanas and cut off sleeve shirts and you'll be fine. Like we can make that happen.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen, I appreciate it, buddy. This was a fun one today. Shout out again. I love your shirt. It ain't going to suck itself. That's
Straight
a
from
really
NOLA.
great shirt for your missus. Nice work there.
Thank you, darling.
Anything to tell anybody before we finish up?
No, just thanks for chiming in. And if you're thinking about starting a new hobby, think long, think hard, think deep, think how it's going to affect everything else that you got going on. Don't do it all willy-nilly and then screw up something else. That's kind of important.
$2,000 golf clubs, and it turns out you suck. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Listen to Jason. But other than that, man, I'm happy to be here again. I'm happy that we had the chance to hang out, shoot the shit. Thanks for doing another remote Zoom so we have the video for everybody. That was awesome. Other than that, everybody, you know where to find us. Share it. Let your buddies know if you got a little bit of a laugh or if you're just like, these guys are idiots. Still listen. Thanks again. But remember, your work keeps the world working.
Cheers.
Cheers.